Hi, I'm Vanish. Heavens. Worth your pennies, honey, because better than my beloved Hourglass Vanish concealer. Hi, I'm Mallory Brooke, makeup artist and content creator here on YouTube, and today we are doing a concealer. What would be a C word for a fight? A concealer combat. Because I do foundation face-offs now where I apply one foundation to one side and another foundation to the other side, and they're both pretty similar products, and we see how it goes. Which foundation is the winner? Well, I recently purchased the new NATASHA DENONA hy-glam brightening and hydrating medium to full coverage crease-proof serum concealer. So to me, when I got this in the mail, I immediately noticed it looks a lot like my beloved Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Concealer, okay? The packaging is basically backwards. The NATASHA DENONA one, and here's the Hourglass. Look at that. They're like the same. The Hourglass is 36, NATASHA DENONA is 30. The NATASHA DENONA hy-glam brightening and hydrating concealer is supposed to be medium to full coverage with a matte finish. And it's supposed to be crease proof, long wearing, and all of that good stuff. My beloved Hourglass that I have purchased now for, I don't know, 5-6 years, okay? It is also crease proof, but full coverage and a natural finish. So I want to apply, both are supposed to be great for dark circles, which that's where I wear concealer. I am, currently don't have any spots on my face that I conceal with other concealers. So I focus on, when I purchase a concealer, how well does it do under my eyes? So we're gonna apply the NATASHA DENONA hy-glam concealer to the left eye and the Hourglass Vanish Vanish Airbrush Concealer. Yeah, Vanish Airbrush Concealer, I'm saying it correctly. Okay, so we're going to apply the NATASHA DENONA hy-glam to the left side and the Hourglass Vanish Concealer to the right. And let's see what the differences are as the day goes on and which concealer is worth your pennies, honey, because when you get into high-end concealers, you start paying high-end prices. $30, $36. They sound pretty similar. The only difference that I can read is the actual finish of them. So let's see. Now, upon first viewing of this out of the box, I do like the packaging because I love the packaging of the Hourglass Vanish. It looks actually like a knockoff at the drugstore version of the Hourglass. So I want to see what the paddle is like. Okay, so we have kind of like a flimsy type of paddle here. It doesn't feel very high end. With the Hourglass Vanish, you have a pretty stiff applicator. It's kind of like nice and padded, and you can really get some great application with that. So that's interesting. I'm not a big fan of these types of applicators, but maybe you are. They're a little flimsy feeling. So let's see. And it has a hole in the center. All right, let's see. This is supposed to be game changing. NATASHA DENONA hy-glam on the left. And I purchased the shade R2. Now, when I apply concealer, I apply it to my eyelid as well because I use concealer as my actual eyeshadow prep, and then I powder it down. So, crease proof, it's supposed to be good for dark circles, and it's supposed to be a matte finish. I'm just applying this with a damp beauty blender. I personally still love bringing my concealer in a semi-triangle because I like the lift and I like the brightness that it gives. All right, ooh, that's actually really nice. And it does feel, I can tell you this right now because I use the Hourglass all of the time, it does feel extremely lightweight. The Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Concealer feels a little heavier, a little thicker. So let's go ahead. So that's, how much I would normally apply to my under eyes. I already like the applicator of the Hourglass better, and this is in the shade Silk. All right, now I'm gonna use the opposite side of the beauty blender. I already feel like I know that the Hourglass has a little more coverage, so I use just a tad bit less. Oddly enough, I feel like the Hourglass side looks a little more matte to me. So this side is the NATASHA DENONA hy-glam, and this side is the Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Concealer. I'm going to lightly powder these down and see, okay, because they're both supposed to be very long wearing. I know that the Hourglass is extremely long wearing. I've worn it in some of my most sweaty workouts, okay? So we're gonna put both to the test and see how they look at the end of the day, because when something is this expensive, all right, you are paying for that long wear claim. So we shall see. So I'm gonna powder these down lightly. And I'm going to use the Jones Road tinted face powder, the untinted shade actually, with the Jones Road powder brush. I'm just gonna take just a little bit. This is such an amazing powder. It's such an amazing loose powder. It honestly, I feel like for a loose powder, it really looks more like a pressed powder. And I can also bake with it. I'm not baking right now. And I'm only powdering down my under eyes. It also doesn't change the color or depth of coverage products, which is really nice. Now I'm going to apply just the same amount of powder as I would on a normal day when I'm not testing the concealer. I tell you what, I feel like, honestly, the Hourglass side currently right now is looking better to me, but both are very nice looking. They both look really great under the eye, especially I'm 34. I have kind of like dry, fine lines, those types of concerns. And so far, I am not seeing the Natasha Denona hy-glam concealer pick up on any of that. So I will be back midday and we will see if this long wear claim is true, and we'll get a better idea of which concealer might be best for you if you struggle with dark circles, because both are supposed to be used for dark circles and have decent coverage. All right, I will be back with my lovely corrective retainers and bands. Heavens. All right, you guys, we have had these two concealers on for a couple of hours. I have a little bit of fallout happening. I filmed a tutorial with the Natasha Denona Yucca palette, so if that's up first, I will link that below. Some of the shimmers kind of, fell down, which is fine. They're very high shimmer, but I just want to say that because neither one of these concealers have shimmer. So take a good look. Do you remember which concealer is on which side of my face? Because honestly, if I didn't remember, they look pretty similar. On the left is the Natasha Denona hy-glam concealer, and on the right is the Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Concealer. Now, there are a couple of things that I am noticing, so let's get into that. I'm noticing the Natasha Denona hy-glam concealer. Again, we only powdered it down, did not bake either concealer. Now, the Hourglass Vanish Airbrush, if you are a baker, I love to bake. I love making my under eyes just like as bright as possible because I do have dark circles. I feel like the Hourglass almost looks a little crepier than the Natasha Denona hy-glam. Now, despite not liking the applicator of this, I'm starting to think that I like the Natasha Denona as it wears throughout the day a little better than my beloved Hourglass Vanish concealer. You guys let me know what you think. Here's a full smile. Natasha Denona hy-glam, Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Concealer. I mean, to me, I feel like the hy-glam is almost giving me more of an airbrushed look. And I sleep on the left side of my face here, so I have more fine lines under this eye actually than I do on my right eye. So for my right eye to have more fine lines apparent than my left is pretty wild to me. So I'm excited to see how each concealer wears during the day, because they're supposed to both be very long wearing. I know that the Hourglass vanishes, but I'm not quite sure about the Natasha Denona hy-glam. If this wears all day and looks this great, I might have found something that I end up liking better than my Hourglass Vanish concealer, which is wild to me. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get, along with the day. Again, I have a workout, so we'll see if the hy-glam really does, live up to the high performance. It literally says in the description, high performance concealer. We'll see if it lives up to that claim. But so far, I feel like my left side looks better than my right. And it's not like my right looks bad, but there is something about my under eye skin on this side. Heavens. All right, you guys, here is a concealer check-in. There's one thing I'm noticing. Okay, the Natasha Denona side has definitely caked up and creased a little bit. And the main difference is it's making my mascara kind of mark up my under eye a little bit. So, oh Girl. But here's the thing too. Right now I am testing the Dior Backstage Face and Body, and I'm not pleased with it. I feel like it's breaking up, you know, and all that kind of stuff. So I'm wondering if the NATASHA DENONA concealer is having a hard time like my Hourglass is having a hard time because of this foundation. So I think I'm gonna give it one more try, probably tomorrow, and update you guys on what it looks like, because this is just not giving me much. And it's almost 6 o'clock. I just got done working out, and you know, this claims high performance. So let's check out the performance on leg day, and it's smudging my mascara. This side is not. I've never had smudging issues with the Hourglass. I'm not pleased with the way either of them are looking right now. So it might be this foundation. Anyway, I will check in with you guys at the end of the night. One last up close look. See the creasing? It is creasing. This side not so much, you know? Okay, I better not touch it. All right, I'll see you guys later. Better than my beloved Hourglass Vanish concealer. All right, it is the end of the night, and it is time to report on both concealers. Can you guess which side is which? Before I remind you, I'm sure you do because you've seen this entire video about these two concealers. So, on the left, we have the new NATASHA DENONA Hy-Glam Concealer. And on the right, we have the Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Concealer. I feel like they are very similar in finish and formulation. I do think that the Dior Backstage Face and Body kind of made them look, both of them look drier than they could have. So I think I will be holding on to the NATASHA DENONA Hy-Glam Concealer to try it with my other favorite foundations for dry skin and things like that. Very comparable. However, the NATASHA DENONA Hy-Glam did make my mascara smudge. You know, like I feel like the oils in the NATASHA DENONA Hy-Glam Concealer definitely broke up my other eye makeup. The Hourglass did not and never really does. So that's interesting. So I'm sure you'll see me use this in more videos to come, and I will keep you guys updated. Let us know if you've tried the NATASHA DENONA Hy-Glam Concealer, and if you have also tried the Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Concealer. Very similar formulas. I feel like maybe the NATASHA DENONA Hy-Glam is a little less coverage, a little lighter weight, but definitely broke up my eye makeup. But again, I'm gonna hold on to it and try it with my other regular foundations that I love so much. So let us know your thoughts. Have you tried either concealer? I love under eye concealers. They are one of my favorite products to purchase and to try out. So this was fun for me. I hope it was just as much fun for you. Thank you so much for watching. Give this video a thumbs up just because I have corrective retainers again with bands, and it lets YouTube know you enjoy my content, so you will see it pop up in your feed. And please subscribe if you haven't already. We would love to have you in this positive, wonderful, beautiful community, even though I can't speak. Thank you so much for watching. Very, very similar, even to the packaging. I kind of don't appreciate this packaging is so similar, because Hourglass has pretty unique packaging. Okay, NATASHA DENONA, but we'll still be holding on to you and giving you a try. Whoa. All right.